Hey, Raider Nation, how you guys doing? It's a late one, but fuck it, here.
Late night.
Y'all turn them damn mask on, man. Come on, shit. Turn the daggone camera on. Let them motherfuckers see your scary ass face.
No, so it is strictly Phil Jones time. We want
Ah,
hey, CJ Erickson, the most hated
What's
man
up?
in the internet.
God
Yes, I
damn.
am.
Hey, fuck all that shit. Hey, welcome to the Unfiltered Truth. I'm your host, Phil Jones. Phil Robinson with me. CJ Erickson, he's here. And we got a lot to talk about with some Raiders, y'all. As you all know, breaking news yesterday. I can confirm 8 hours later that the Raiders signed KJ Wright and got it done. You know, this was something that we were all waiting for. You know, I had to speak it into existence a long time ago. What do you think, you guys? I mean, look, this guy's going to he's going to be starting right away. They're going to be looking to have him play the Sam, and you're going to have Corey Littleton playing the Will and shit. So, I mean, to have those two out there, that's going to be an immediate impact that we need for this defense. And then going into your base 43, you're going to have Littleton, Perriman, and KJ Wright out there.
Say that again.
Yeah, you heard me.
It's a lot of experience.
Corey Middleton,
Huh?
Del Perryman, and KJ Wright as the linebackers. What
Yes.
more do you ask for
That's
a position
crazy.
that's been largely ignored throughout the organization since forever?
You
Now
have top tier, boy.
real
It was
linebacker.
bad. Years ago, it was, oh my God. You had the revolving door. You had Navarro Bowman. You had Perry Riley. You had guys on these 1-year contracts, just trying to fill the gap. And
Yeah.
now you have 3 experienced guys. Like, it's pretty crazy to think about, especially in today's NFL as more teams are moving to the dime, nickel, to have 3 guys that can play, it's kind of crazy when you really think about it, considering what the Raiders have been through recently. So, but I think we all knew that they were going to do something with the injuries, like Morrow and White. Those injuries suck, especially in preseason, man. Like, no one wants to see that. No one wants to see injuries in general, And like both of them showed that they can be good in pass coverage, and that's what the Raiders need. But things happen, man. But fortunately, KJ Wright and the Raiders traded for Perriman, so we'll see what happens with both of them.
Phil?
No, I mean it's beautiful. Honestly, I've been waiting so long. It's been one of many of my chief complaints about this defense. Bradley's approach to finding what guys do best and to work around what they do best and get them into packages is another one of my personal pet peeves about why you got bring in guys and try to jam a square peg into a round hole and then look at the players like it's their fault when it doesn't work. I mean, you take Amik Robertson, for instance. He slid out from the slot to an outside corner and has flourished right away. Why has he flourished? Because that's what he does best. Nobody's asking him to be an undersized guy on the inside, a slot guy, and just continue to compound upon his responsibilities.
Right.
Can he play it? Yes, but is he better outside? He's more comfortable outside, and it shows when he plays. And to me, that's just been kind of the breath of fresh air because you want to see guys feeling normal, feeling natural, playing loose.
Damn, boy, you freeze.
He froze.
He froze.
He like froze in time.
You froze.
Damn,
you
freaked
froze
me out.
worse than Corey did on the other night.
Yeah, that's all bad.
But I mean, real talk. This is something that we needed in the work. And yeah, like you were saying, with Amit Robertson playing his natural position, playing on the outside. I mean, I was like, damn, he looks like a whole different guy than what we had saw last year.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders, no, I'm going to say this. John Gruden is letting his defensive coordinator do his damn job.
Mm-hmm.
He's letting them say, hey, you need that? Okay. You want that? Okay. I think John Gruden is starting to realize that the old shit that I'm used to doing was not working.
Mm-hmm.
When you can finally allow your coordinator to do their damn job, I mean, you can always throw like, hey, can we get a little bit of this and we can get a little bit of that more? That's fine. But when you let them handle like their personnel, I'm gonna tell you this, man, that's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one thing I noticed about him going into this year. When he got Paul Gunther, he was just meddling and doing this, and this. Now, granted, Gunther didn't know what the hell he was doing either. But Bradley came in. They were like, look, this is your gig for that. You get what you need. You get that guy. You get that guy. You guys are drafting that guy. We can help. See what fits that back end of the defense and see where we go from there. And so far, it's looked good. Everything looks good on paper, but in the end, it only matters on how it transitioned onto the field.
Absolutely.
Now, whoever ran around here saying that Tanner Muse is going to start over KJ Wright, yeah, I'm going to say it, bro. Like, whoever said that shit, who said that? Please, somebody tell me. Who would say Tanner Muse is starting over KJ Wright?
That's a question for your chat.
The fans in the comment section, I need y'all to find out who's been running around saying that Tanner Muse is going to start over KJ Wright. Somebody said booty digger.
Who said that?
Let me stop.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
I got a text.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, no matter how wrong it is. I mean, if you believe in your guy, at one point, we pounded the table for Cleveland Farrell. I'm not gonna sit up in here and try to lie about it.
I can't lie about that shit.
But
tell you this, I was right.
But now, all off season long, what have I said about Tanner Muse? You never know what you might have. You get somebody who can actually coach a defense and find a role for him, and who knows what you might have. Now look at now it's in discussion that he might actually start over KJ Wright.
No, it's not. It's not a debate.
No.
Like.
Ain't gonna.
Don't.
I mean, I tried. I tried. I didn't really believe.
You failed miserably on that one.
I don't know how.
It was doomed from the start.
And I say this, like, and one reason why, and I mean, I've had folks that are curious, like, say that, well, I don't see how he's going to be like getting a whole bunch of snaps. Now, I can understand that why folks would have that idea, because usually you see a guy that hasn't been there for training camp or preseason, you're thinking like, oh, he probably get about maybe a small percent of the snaps. I get that, but for somebody that's been, he's been maintaining, staying in shape, doing a whole off season, and then you also have to understand the way they do the physicals now for the players. They put them like through a whole damn gauntlet. It ain't just doing like a quick run and then, getting on the treadmill, weighing them and all that shit. No, they put them through drills
Mm-hmm.
So they have him doing like with him, he's going to be doing some linebacking drills, reaction drills, and if he's passing through that, then that tells him, okay, he's not looking rusty, or is he looking a tad bit rusty? Either way, if he can just go through practice this week and look solid, we're going to be ready to go with him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Gerald McCoy. They played in the
Yeah.
49ers preseason game. He said it himself. He's rusty. So he played all those reps, But look at him. He was the most productive player on the field, I think, for both sides. When you really look at it, And it's like these guys are veterans, like McCoy, Wright. They've been around the league for a minute,
He
you
done
know.
froze.
That ball dropped. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm over here. You having this conversation, and I'm looking at the Giants and the Dodgers, and they just blew a call because the ball dropped and it looked like you trapped it.
Your Giants about to lose.
It's beat
Yeah.
LA. It's beat LA all day, every day, and they're actually winning, Dick. But thank you.
They about to lose. All right, just end the discussion. But I'm gonna say this: the thing about it with McCoy was out for about a whole year. KJ played last year. That's the huge difference right there.
And KJ's a top 100 player according to his peers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
he got it done.
He was just waiting for the right opportunity.
It is easily the most impressive defense that they've put together on paper in quite a long time. And like you said to your point, Phil, games aren't played on paper, and it really doesn't matter no matter how good it looks. But given Bradley's defensive pedigree and resume and what he's done and the various stops he's been at with the players that he's had, it stands to reason that he should enjoy a healthy amount of success here as well, too. Now, we can't take that to the bank because we've seen all types of crazy things happen with this particular franchise. But as a whole, when you look at it, you look at all of the guys that we've had on this defense that we expected to be great and do great things and drafted high, and they're all in complementary roles. And to me, that says a lot, that you have a guy who comes in and identifies that the people who are supposed to be your key players.
Man, he froze.
Man, there he goes.
Watching that, he got that damn Jamaican Wi-Fi, bro.
All these damn kids on my shit, man. Ridiculous.
Damn Jamaican Wi-Fi, yeah.
Every time I get into a point, get going good.
But that brings up a whole nother issue with what you were just saying, Phil, about you have a defensive coordinator who's with the Chargers, comes in and identifies that, okay, well, these top draft picks, they aren't true starters, guys that you can build around. There's a couple married pieces, and that just says right there that like John Gruden might be coming around, might be realizing like, well, maybe I do just need to let someone do their thing. I don't need my hand in this, And I mean that goes on to 10,000 different other roads, personnel, drafting, free agents, trades, cap space, but it could be the start of John Gruden becoming more modern in a sense.
That's one way of putting it, yeah. The other thing I look at is this. We haven't had a proven defensive coordinator in a long time. You go down the list, like the last 3 years, we had what? Paul Gunther. Last 2 years, you had Ken Norton Jr. Well, no, take it back. 3 years, you had Ken Norton Jr. And then last 3 years after that, you had Jason Tarver.
It's a long time.
Bro, you keep going down the list. You either had like a retread or you either had a retread or you had like a bad defensive coordinator that wasn't proven. I mean, now John Marshall, who you had, I give you this. He was solid.
Yeah.
But other than that, and then you had Rob Ryan. So you go down the list, None of these guys were proven. They either were behind a coach that was a defensive-minded head coach and then try to run the system and think they could pull the same thing. And it didn't work. I don't know what happened to CJ. He probably bounced back in, but
and just for grins and giggles, how many of those former defensive coordinators were Super Bowl winners?
One.
That'd be Bradley, wouldn't it?
I mean, you got to remember. Now, you mean as like as a defensive coordinator, or just like as an assistant coach on the?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about as the guy.
Oh, well, there you have it. Yeah, Gus Bradley.
Gus Bradley. So when you have a defensive coordinator who's been to the mountaintop.
Got about Willie Shaw. Yeah.
Yes, Willie Shaw was our last respectable DC, and good call, Sean. Appreciate that. But But aside from that, who's gotten to the mountaintop?
That would be Gus Bradley.
So that's what we need. We need a guy who's not a guy who can tell you, who can convince you that he can do it, but a guy who's already done it and can tell you he can do it again. And show you that he can put you in places to do it again, and show you that he can take his system and replicate it and have success each and every stop that he goes to.
And that's something, literally, we haven't had that in a long time now. And, just going through the defense, the one thing that really sticks out to me now is the D-line. The D-line has really stuck out to us. Yeah, just like with McCoy, and then Hankins, he can clog up the middle, but then you also have Darius Philon coming in, and he's showing that, hey, I haven't lost a step. And then you also look at Quentin Jefferson. Right there, all four right there are solid. You haven't had that for your interior D-line in a long time. And then now you look at your defensive ends with Crosby and Yannick. And, as much as we tried to say that, Farrell hasn't been looking good at this, hasn't been looking good at that, he's been decent in run defense. So you having him being your backup and probably rotating in when it comes to run support, I'm good.
Week one.
My whole thing is, everybody's like, well, he's got to be able to do this. He's got to be able to do that. Look, it ain't what you want. It's what Gus Bradley wants. Gus Bradley's like, hey, if you can handle shit right here for these few plays, good. If you can handle plays for that, that's all that matters. But if you're not going to be like that guy that's like, yeah, Khalil Mack and all that, look, we're not having that, okay? And I think that was the main problem with this fan base. A lot of folks were looking for that, and we didn't get that. And I don't know why a lot of people were looking for that replacement.
You're generous. You're generous by saying that's the main problem with the fan base.
Hey, look, I can go down. I can go down a list of things.
That's the main problem. So they don't know what winning looks like, and they keep accepting what everybody keeps telling to them as superior football, which turns out to be losing football. And you can tell people how much they do or don't know football, but I can tell you what I do know, and that's the final result. And whatever it is that you said is superior football is not winning football, and that is the ultimate line of demarcation. If you're not winning, you are simply not good enough.
And speaking of not winning, it's just like you hear Gruden, you hear Mayock, you hear Derek Carr. I don't even know what he said today, but talk about winning and results. Don't care about the stats. And it's like, at what point do people sit and realize that they've heard the same thing over and over and over, but have got zero results. Like, that's literally the definition of insane, you know? And I'm going to say this. If the Raiders are a legitimate team, they start the season 3-1. Now, I understand you got a tough team in Baltimore, but it's a home. It's Monday Night Football. It's an opener, you know? And the Ravens are banged up. You know, they're not as, from offensive standpoint, they're not as, there's a lot of gelling that has to happen on offense. They got new offensive linemen. Lamar Jackson's still kind of going through some things injury-wise and COVID. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Their backfield is banged up. They just lost J.K. Dobbins, which is a pretty big loss. Gus Edwards is good, but he's no J.K. Dobbins, you know. And defensively, that's where the problem is. But it's a winnable game. And you're at home. You go in, you win. It doesn't matter how you do it. Just do it. Just do it. You know, week 2, you go to Pittsburgh. That's a problem. This team on the road struggles, especially when it comes to the East Coast, because I've been at the majority of those games. Whereas Pittsburgh, Philly, Washington, a couple years ago, New England, you know, and I'm tired of hearing a lot of things, but I'm really tired of hearing, okay, well, it's not the offense's fault. Well, no, it's a collective team effort. But if this offense is so good, then they go into Pittsburgh against a top, I think, 5 defense, and they can beat Pittsburgh.
It was either the number 2 or 3 scoring defense last year behind the Rams.
Yeah. But that game could turn into a shootout, and if the offense is what they say they are, they go up and put up points, you know? Then week 3, I believe, I'm just doing this off the top of my head. Week 3 is Miami, right?
Yes.
Is it at, or I forget what it is.
I'm just looking at Baltimore's lineup, and I'm just like,
yeah, Baltimore. The thing you have to, and I think that's another thing Gus Bradley brings is, I think you're going to see a more disciplined defense. You're not going to see as many big plays. I mean, breakdowns happen; they happen all the time. But it was every series with Gunther. Bradley, I mean, if you don't do your job, you're not playing.
Nope.
Yeah.
You're not, and that's the way it should be. He's very cut and dry. There's no in between, you know. And like Phil was saying earlier, square peg, round hole. I mean, you're just not going to see that, you know. He's already said that he's going to play Abram more down inside the box, closer to the line of scrimmage, you know, and that suits Abram, you know. But I think you're going to see a defense, at least in the front 7, that is improved. And that's the thing. If the front 7 or front 4 isn't getting pressure, Bradley's defense, like any defense, will just go to shit. Because he don't blitz. He don't. You know? He relies on, I mean, you got Joey Bosa, you know, Melvin Ingram. He had some guys out there, and he had a good defensive squad. So if he's able to replicate that somewhat, you know, here, it'll be that's a win. So,
and you know, the thing about it all relied on strength. Like going back to Seattle and then going back to, you know, with Chargers, they had strength within their front 4.
mm-hmm.
And if they're able to, and really the whole thing of it was like, you know, I'd been doing some digging, and when he meant by strength of his front 4, he at least 2 or 3 out of the guys should have been able to overpower their man and get past them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back and look at Seattle,
Mm-hmm.
that front four was doing it. You go back when they started back in 2018 with the Chargers. Well, we saw that firsthand. And then they were still able to do it. The only thing, and see, that was the one thing with the Chargers, like what was going on with them, they couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah, that's their curse.
Yeah,
Or were they
man.
trying to be too overly physical, or were they just
No, they just can't stay healthy in general. I don't know who's their team doctor because this has
Strength
been going on
conditioning.
before, way before.
Look at
Bradley
Sean
got
Merriman. John Merriman couldn't stay healthy. There's so many guys that couldn't stay healthy on those old Charger teams, man.
Quentin Jeremy was one of them. Shit, I can go down the list.
Sean Phillips.
That was another one because like Sean Phillips, when he came in, when he was healthy, it was game over.
Yeah, he was a game changer.
Nah, it wasn't him because you know what? He had already left.
Who?
I ain't gonna put him out there because you know I need to keep that strong relationship with that person.
I got you.
Before they be like, shit, he is in Vegas. Shit, that motherfucker can roll up on me, be like, but did you die?
hit your ass with that G come do?
But I mean, go so far. You looking at? I'm just looking at this defense with Baltimore. It's
underwhelming when you really look at it. I think what killed them in free agency was they weren't able to bring back Matt Judon. That's what they were kind of banking on him coming back, and then he was like, I'm going to go somewhere else. But I don't blame him, you know. But now you're relying. Go ahead.
No, now you're relying on. Go on, say it. Say it,
You're relying. Baltimore is a pressure-based defense. Everything they do, disguising blitzes, things of that nature. You don't know who's coming. But when you don't have guys like Terrell Suggs, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, it makes a difference, you know, because those guys, they just took up portions of the field and you're not going nowhere. You can line them up the same spot and they're just going to wreck. They're going down. But now you got a rookie from Penn State who I think he's a pretty good player, you know, but you're putting a lot of pressure on a rookie to generate pressure. And Odafe, Jason Owe, however you want to pronounce his name. You look at Brandon Williams. He's defensive tackle. You're not going to move him in the run game, but he's not a pass rusher. Outside of that, they just lost LJ Ford. A lot of people don't think of him, but like he has got a lot of experience. You know, they don't have on Wassar. I believe he's still a free agent. So you're looking at a lot of inexperience, you know, in the defense that's actually pretty complex, you know, with what they want done in Baltimore. The issue is with Baltimore is their secondary, because their secondary is still pretty good. And Humphrey, Peters, and I believe Chuck Clark's still there.
Yeah, Chuck Clark's still there. Yeah,
he's still there.
But like,
that's three guys though.
Yeah, and I think like the real speed that they have within that front seven is Patrick Queen.
Yeah, that's about it. You know, but other than that, it's not looking like Baltimore wants it to look like. It's not a Baltimore defense.
No, not what we've become accustomed to seeing from them.
Because we know good and damn well Queen ain't gonna get lined up on Waller.
From what I have been reading and hearing, they've been thinking about putting Marlon Humphrey on Waller, which is interesting But let me tell you something about my guy. I love Marlon Humphrey. Roll Tide. Got to throw that out there. But he's not physical. Waller will eat that man alive, especially in press.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you about a $197. Hell no.
It's a grown man right there. A grown man.
Maybe.
But I don't want to get too far into the Ravens just now.
Yeah,
that's a whole week worth of show for next week. But I think that as it stands right now, the matchup, where they're at in terms of injuries and, like you said, kind of having to gel, having to bring in new pieces and get new pieces together on defense, and lacking, quite frankly, a lot of their offensive pieces that they were counting on early on in the season. It really comes down to when you catch teams, and right now appears to be a real good time to catch the Ravens.
Yeah, because them not having Hollywood Brown in practice right now. I mean, that's
Dobbins.
Boykin hit the IR, and then Bateman hit the IR. I mean, all you really got is Sammy Watkins right now.
That ain't nothing.
I'm not worried about Sammy Watkins for this defense.
But you get what I'm saying, like
right.
It's a matchup that the Raiders can and should win when you really look at it.
And see, and this is the one thing I say about having KJ right now. Mark Andrews ain't gonna do shit.
He won't be running wild, that's for sure. That whole with what they've done with the linebacking core, Bradley has looked to lock down the intermediate routes on the field. That lineup, that group of linebackers should have no problem covering anything from about 5 to 15 yards deep.
And Phil, I say another thing. I went back and looked at that Niners game. Looking at Diablo, even though he's been out and he was rusty, even when the tight ends were running their routes and shit, Diablo was on them. When he shaded them, it was the style and steps he made. He made it where you're not gonna if he throws it over my head and gets over the shoulder, I'm still gonna be right here to either swat it away or I can turn my body around and pick this off. He was in the right position, shading the tight end from inside to outside. And that's something I haven't seen from any of our linebackers in a long time. And, you go back and I look at what Devon Diablo did back at Virginia Tech. Football IQ is on a high rate. He knows what he's doing. So when you're seeing something like that from him, and then you look at all the other linebackers that we have from Wright, I'm even going to say Perryman, and I'm also going to say
I'm just waiting. So with all of that stuff that you just said and all of those options, as it was just hitting to me, and the way that he pursued the tight end in coverage, it's only going to be a matter of time until you see him at the position that he was drafted to play, which is the box safety.
Yeah,
it's coming. I'll just say it now because I like to spoil parties early, but Jonathan Abram is going to be given every opportunity to hold off Divine Diablo, but he's not going to be able to do it longer than 8 games.
I mean, if he's still dragging his feet in the mud, then yeah.
Abram is an emotional player. He's always been that since Mississippi State. He's got athleticism, he's got power, strength, he's got it all. But in terms of, like you were saying earlier, football IQ and what Gus Bradley wants, it's not a good match.
You know what's funny? I was thinking about this.
Diablo is.
What if you switched the two?
That would be the best thing
that was the one thing I had a scenario. What if you switched the two?
The only question you would have would be how well can Abram get off of blocks in the box?
Now, the one thing I've seen him when he came up to the line of scrimmage and they ran like an outside stretch, he doesn't get engulfed. That's one thing I noticed when he came in for run support, he was good. But I definitely agree with this. He needs to tackle.
Wrap up.
Fundamental.
100% yes.
Absolutely.
I wholeheartedly agree 100% on that one. Wrap it up.
Him and Damon Arnett need to learn.
Yeah. Arnett's look better this preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was starting to wonder about Arnett, looking at him tackling, I was like, man, you keep doing this, you're going to be in the concussion protocol for a minute.
Your brain is going to be scrambled jelly, and you're not even going to be able to spell cat at the age of 26.
I'm going to be real. When I saw him get that last concussion, it kind of reminded me of what went on with Nick Roach.
Right.
This man was in concussion protocol at the end of the year. And then the start of the new year.
Never got out of it.
Yeah.
And we had high hopes for him too. He was good.
And that's why I was just like, I don't want to see that to Damon Arnett. I don't want him to be in that predicament. That's why I'm like, I want him to get this shit right. He gets it right. He can be so much better than what we've seen.
Yeah.
He has to remember that he's a corner in this league and that this is professional football. All that tough guy shit you were doing in college was cool in college. You try to go head up with these NFL running backs and you get your brain scrambled.
Mm-hmm. It's not Ohio State anymore.
Yeah. So these dudes is 215, 220, 4% muscle.
Yeah.
That's facts.
4%.
The division has some large wide receivers as well.
Yes.
So, yeah. Sutton.
I think. Yeah. The real disappointment that I saw during that one preseason game was really Isaiah Johnson.
Yeah.
Somebody that fits the prototypical cornerback that Gus Bradley likes to have in his defense. Seeing him gone, just looking at the performance, him not turning his head around, costing a large amount of yards,
I played defensive back in high school and college, and that's something that I never understood. How you can't. It's not hard to do. When a wide receiver is about to get a ball, their eyes get big. Body language, everything, and
eyes get big, hands come up.
You still don't turn your head. I don't know, man. I think he's got something. I don't know. I don't want to speak anything into existence that isn't there, but I think he's got something. He's going through some things. Because I think he's a talented player. I think he has all the ability to succeed, and hopefully he has that opportunity somewhere else, And maybe he just needs to change his scenery,
He's back home in Texas, so he's with Houston.
That might do it now. Some people just need to change the scenery to become better players. Lots of former Raiders have done it. So I'm not going to name
DJ Hayden did it. I was shocked when DJ Hayden did it. I was like, damn. From getting ready to fight Ev to being a solid nickel corner
in
for the
this
Jag.
league for years for a couple different teams.
But the one thing I've noticed about a handful of cornerbacks, not just on the NFL level, but in the college level, God, it's like God. I'm like, when I want man coverage, I think about jamming my guy at the line of scrimmage. If you can get your hands on his shoulder, get inside his shoulder pads,
Yeah.
you can control that motherfucker like a rag doll.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like if you were a linebacker or a cornerback or a safety, like when I played linebacker, they had me go through like the cover. They had me go through like coverage drills with the DBs. Cause they're like, I need some linebackers that know how to cover a damn running back or a tight end. You're not just gonna stand there in the middle of the field and look like, oh, what's going on? Look to my left, right.
Playing zone.
But if you're up on the line of scrimmage, or if they kick them out wide, you got to be ready. And my coach was like, get up in there. So they always had you like, it was a hand drill when you got to the sled. It was like kind of like a hand punch, like we do with like an O lineman, but hands are open, but you're getting right up inside the grill of the shoulder pads.
Yeah.
And I don't see that shit anymore. You don't see it as much.
You know why? Look at what the spread offense has done to college football.
Yeah.
Look at what the defensive coordinators are like. There's no point of playing press. There's no point. There's play off. So these guys are reacting instead of being proactive. And it would not surprise me if you were to ask certain cornerbacks from certain athletic conferences what a speed turn is. Because ain't none of them, some of them, it's just not in their vocabulary, their play.
Yeah.
Like, it's sad. It's sad because, like, there's a lot of talent, and I just feel that the way things are going, guys are getting penalized for illegal hands to the face, pass interference, and they're almost afraid to when you watch them. They don't want to be physical, So, but on the other hand, you have guys like Nate Hobbs, he ain't afraid to be physical.
Nope. And is doing it in the proper constraints. And it looks beautiful when he does it.
I hope it carries over to the regular season. Because that's also something. That's something the Raiders could use. A guy that can play nickel and not just cover would be able to, if Bradley does decide to blitz, have a corner blitz, run support, things of that nature. That's a game changer, man. A guy that can do a lot of things from the slot.
But I mean, overall, I like the direction they're heading into. I don't want to go into predictions yet because I had my list for the whole league, and folks are gonna hate me.
Oh, really?
Disagree strongly.
Phil, nah. Folks are really gonna hate me for this one. And I don't like using hate,
Need more love in this world. So maybe perhaps you should go back and try and construct a better list so that you'll be able to reach everybody's heart.
Oh, so you mean everybody makes the playoffs?
This will be an NFL first. All 32 teams go 17-0.
Now listen, I read something today. I don't know who, I don't know where, but someone said that the Raiders were the second worst team in the AFC. Or in the conference. Yeah. I'm like, and they have them below the Jaguars. I'm like, listen, I'm pretty
No,
negative
hell
when it
no.
comes to the Raiders, but I'm like, listen, the Jaguars, they have their own problems that will make the Raiders' problems look like heaven. I promise you. I
Oh my
promise you.
gosh,
But
that's wild.
Yeah.
the Raiders aren't terrible. I'm not going to say they're good. That ain't me.
Nah,
It's one
that's
of those
like
kind of.
I put it like this. I feel like the Raiders are starting to truly find who their identity is on defense,
Yeah.
but we still got to find out the identity on offense in that second half of the season. So you can look like a powerhouse offense, but when it comes to the second half of the season, you know, your offense, you know, like y'all looking like some shit put together from the Dollar General.
Well, and who's that fall back on? Gruden, Derek Carr.
So it really, at that particular juncture, who that falls back on would be your general manager and your head coach and all your personnel department who didn't get you quality backups to begin with. Now, depth has been a major issue for the Raiders, and it will continue to plague them, especially along the offensive line. Because if you look, once you get out of that starting five, the rest of that is sketchy, and that's being generous. What I saw in
Yeah.
the preseason was atrocious, and to be quite frank with you, if they don't stay in 12 personnel or get themselves a block and running back, Derek Carr is going to be a road stay.
Rose thing.
But Derek Carr's elite, so it doesn't matter.
He's going to be elite at throwing the ball into the ground. They're throw it. His release time will top his 2.2 seconds, and it will be even faster. He'll manage to get rid of the ball in under 2 seconds, which means he won't even be fully completing his drops before he throws.
Well,
Yeah.
you bring that up, and I want to say something because I feel that it's something that's not quite being talked about. It is, but it's not.
Yeah.
Mr. Andre James has a lot on his shoulders, right? You know, and the health of Incognito is shaky. Man's 38, 39. You know,
Mm-hmm.
his health isn't exactly guaranteed.
Already hurt.
Denzel good,
Ooh.
solid, but you know, Derek Carr is going to feel a lot of pressure up the middle in those A gaps.
Yeah.
Maybe not a lot, but he'll feel it more than he has before. And I
Yeah.
don't know how he is going to react to that.
Well, you know
There's
who's
some
pretty good
concerning
at
things.
feeling pressure and having an outstanding set of pocket presence? So that'd be your boy Mariota.
He needs to
Ooh.
fix his body.
Yeah, he definitely does. But if you could take his well, no, you can't even really take his legs because his legs is a problem. But uh,
Take Nate Peterman's life.
you know they're solid.
MV Peterman.
But
It's amazing to me. Go ahead. I'm not going to start on that one.
yeah, we don't have enough time for all of that.
No.
But it's really going to come down to people just going out there and executing. And for somebody who yells and screams and was on Hard Knocks about wanting better fucking execution, allowing the piss poor execution that he got to continue is questionable.
All right. I don't know, man.
The Raiders got a
Yeah,
lot to prove.
they got a
They got
lot.
a lot to prove, but and their leadership coming out and stating the goal as the playoffs. It's what it should be. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it should be. And there really isn't any excuse for you not to make it. Everything that you said you needed in order to win, you have. You've corrected your first bad mistakes and got rid of guys that shouldn't have been there. And now you have guys that should. So if you go out and you can't win, all of you should be fired. It won't happen that way. But 4 years in, two six and four starts, two late season collapses, and then to come out here and not make so let's get a couple of things straight first and foremost. Those 6-4 collapses will look a lot better if they make the playoffs this year. If they make the playoffs this year, that suddenly becomes the growing pains that every team has to overcome in order to teach themselves how to win and how to make it to the next level. Now, if they go out and they repeat this again, then something about your leadership is not helping your guys get over the top, get over the hump, get to where they need to be.
Yeah, and with the playoffs being expanded, it looks even worse. Especially last season. You had the extra seed, the new playoff format, and I don't understand, number one, losing to the Falcons, but then getting blown out by them.
Right.
But again, I'm not going to get into that.
When you fumble on your first three drives, you put yourself behind the eight ball, and it gets kind of questionable as to what happened.
Yeah.
And can't be fumbling every time someone puts two fingers on you either.
Breathes down your neck.
That much.
Gets close to you. You see a jersey. You see the opposing jersey, and the ball just falls out of your hands.
It's like magic.
But hey, other than that, I said we got us a good-looking defense now, and now this offense gotta stay consistent. That's it. But damn, I'm ready to drop these win-loss records.
There'll be time. It's getting closer, but it'll probably should drop Wednesday. Or maybe Thursday morning, right before the season opener.
Somebody's gonna hate me.
I'll give you mine.
Oh.
Please,
it's not about 500. It's not about 500. I'll say that much.
What is it?
8-9.
Nobody valued your opinion anyway.
Oh my gosh. You know what?
Set the world on fire.
Nobody values your opinion anyway. Shut up and get off there. But
boy,
bro, I've been working, and it's just like people are like taking time out of their day to like just write something like it would be mean if I cared, I guess.
Damn you, CJ, you son of a bitch.
But I'm just like, man, I never knew so many grown men. No, don't get me started. I've never seen so many grown men cry in my messages, man. Like, it literally looks like a freaking soap opera.
Well, you're not alone. There's at least one.
Yeah.
Now, I prefer to take this approach.
Oh, Kevin, one game at a time. Live a little, bro.
I don't know about this player. Yes, it's going to be exciting, but you know what excites me? Winning. That excites me. Now, I need to see at least 9-7, or once again, you're backsliding. Your 8-9 prediction, which is entirely legit. I mean, all jokes aside, people need to lose their jobs.
I don't think 9-7 is good enough.
I don't think
9-7 is good.
I'm not comfortable with 11, to be honest with you, but that's where I think the benchmark starts.
Oh, I think it starts at 10.
I don't think 10's going to get in. I don't think it's going to get in. It's going to be, you're going to have to be at 11. You're talking about 10 and 7? Yeah, it's going to start at 11.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, let's think about it here. The playoff teams. Here are my playoff teams. You have Kansas City, obviously. You have the Buffalo Bills. You have the Steelers, Ravens. The Steelers, Ravens, and Browns. That's 3 right there.
Said, look, hopefully they'll cannibalize each other and knock each other off.
Well, they're going to beat up on Cincinnati pretty bad, and Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be bad. That man should not be playing. Same with Trevor Lawrence, but that's another story. But I think it's going to be tough in the division too. Like Denver, people don't talk about Denver's defense. I'm not saying they're back, but that secondary is top 3 in the NFL. And Von Miller's half of what he was 2 years ago. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Chargers, I don't even know. They're just going to get hurt. So I'm like, every year they hype them up, and I think offensively they'll be pretty good, but I don't know about defensively.
Yeah,
I do like their hire in Staley, but I just don't.
You got a defensive.
I think he's going to try and bring the Rams.
No,
he's going to try and bring the Rams over.
Please go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nah.
My thing with the Charger coaches is that you got a defensive mind coaching a young offensive football player and who's their offensive coordinator?
Joe Lombardi.
Oh no.
So,
and as I said, Joe Lombardi is your offensive coordinator. Joe Lombardi did not have success with Matt Stafford.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that.
That's what I was thinking, was that he wasn't overly successful either.
Mm-mm.
I don't think the Chiefs, I think they took a step back.
I did too. I think that in terms of run blocking, their line is much better, but in terms of pass blocking, I haven't seen much of a difference. Their emphasis on getting the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands quickly is their new offense.
Mm-hmm. Defensively, they're worse. I mean, I don't know the situation on Chris Jones off the top of my head, but that's probably going to come to a head here soon.
Wow. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. I'm not going to drop that because, I'll probably get in trouble. But I mean, other than that, look. I'm gonna put it like this. Hold on, I put this in here. I'm just wondering and a little confused. So if you predict the Raiders did not get better from last year, or does it mean that
you don't want that conversation? You don't want that conversation because you don't want that.
No. Yeah, Raiders definitely didn't downgrade or anything with their O lineman or with the defense. I think they're in a better position than last year, the years before. But other than that, hey, CJ, I appreciate you coming on tonight with us.
Yes, thank you, CJ.
I appreciate you having me.
It was fun. I told you every time you come on, bro, it's fun.
Yes,
it's always fun to be with
being
you
on
guys.
your best behavior. Nothing
always on my best behavior. I'm always on my best behavior.
Yeah.
You guys know that. I'm just here. My
business.
It's a new year, new me, new place to live. I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
I mean,
I'm always on my best behavior. You guys know that. I'm just here. My It's a new year, new me, new place to live. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm new year, new me, new place to live. I'm good. I'm happy. Positive.
That's a happy face.
Playoffs. Super Bowl.
Look, see, stop.
Derek Carr for MVP. See, look. All sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, you guys. Hey, remember, you guys can jump on our YouTube page, subscribe to the Unfiltered Truth. You guys can recap the show. As always, we're on Twitter. Phil Jones NFL, Phil Robinson III, and who are you?
At CJ Erickson.
No. He can say, who are you? Who are you?
CJ. I'm just CJ. I'm just a fan.
You don't want.
I'm just a fan.
Well, there you have it. And all right, man. Looks like Phil lost his mom because the Giants are screwed up, and I'm laughing inside right now. But hey, other than that, you guys enjoy your Labor Day weekend, and oh yeah, me and Phil will be joined tomorrow evening with a very special guest.
Another black guy. Need some white people on the show.
Oh Lord, you gonna give me you
tried, but you ran him off. I mean, what you want me to tell you?
You gonna get us a job, boy. Look, hey, we'll be joined by Raiders media.
Raiders reporter.
Oh yeah, Raiders media reporter, the one and only Levi Edwards. So he'll be joining us tomorrow evening, and we'll chop it up with him. Talk some Raider football. Should be fun.
You all out.
All right, y'all know y'all tired of us. Y'all go have your beers. Go and enjoy the rest of your night.
Roll Tide.
Oh, Lord. All right, yeah, we're gonna end this now before it turns into an uproar. All right, y'all take care. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your evening.